How's it finding? Hope you hear me all right. Yeah, afternoon. Trust you sing a bit of blue, should be. Craig Muller, good day to you. Oh, Craig Miller, I should say, get bloody time right. Yeah. You see, I hope you sing a bit of blue here. Last to look, the trades are going all right, which is good, all of them, I might add. So yeah, as you did some funny things with the SL, you should be looking at the color blue, as they say. Good, good, good. So I'll post that on there. This is no fundamentals this afternoon to stuff everything up, eh? Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Yeah, a bit of narrow range. Not so much surprise waiting for stuff to come up, but I still feel some buyers out there. So it comes up, some buyers are coming in, but I don't expect anything unless an unforeseen circumstance comes in, anything radical to happen on that front. Till the good old flow of the direction starts coming in later on in the week, particularly interest rates from the UK and Europe. That's coming on Thursday and Wednesday for the US, which I'm sure you all know because you all got the fundamental calendar. Ah, 4 o'clock. Not many people so far. I'll get a few more. Okay, load shedding is a big problem having at the moment. Some guys want to join and they can't. The hefty cost inverter is probably a bit of an issue. But anyway, I hope a few more join just now. Yeah, I've got the Nasdaq up. It's floating around a bit, waiting for direction. It's trying to attack 12,000. It's had a little bit of a go earlier on this afternoon, and then it sort of went back again above, but it's just trying to come off. And so we'll see how that works out. Okay, I might repeat it. Other guys come in. We'll have a quick look to see how they're going. Dodging around a pretty narrow range, but it seems to be okay. Yeah, that's got down to 65 odd earlier on, around figure, and then a bit of a push up, but I think it's trying to come off. Seems to be a shallow range trying to come off there. Anyway, it's in the profit, that's the main thing. Okay. UDC, that's in the profit. Still think it's a bit early to start playing around with the stock, but is in a profit. Yeah, AUDCHF. Where is it now? I'm trying to get everything in order here. Yeah, 47, it's only 20 odd pips away, just over 20 pips away. So I think just leave a stop for the minute on that one. Euro CAD, 45, 20 odd pips in profit, 23, 25, whatever, look at it. A little bit close, so just hang 5 again before it start getting cute with that. Leaves us in a profit. Nice word to come up with. NZ, Euro NZD. This was 67.60. I got a bit worried. Here it was doing just nicely, 50 odd in profit. And then it started going, oh God, I'm going to stop us out, but it seems to be okay so far. So maybe it'll hold. And when I stopped the modified, not stopped out in the loss. I mean, the modified in profit stopped at 70, but it seemed to hold on. I think it did, make sure. Yeah, it might have been stopped out in the modified stop. I say it's a worry, this. Do you modify or not? If you don't, it comes off and wish you hadn't, blah, blah, blah. It might have been, anyways, might have been knocked out because it's doing so well. I don't know. Anyway, it was no profit. Whatever you've done, you've done. Okay. It's the other ones. NZDCHF. Am I on the right track here? No. Looking for two wrong out of date. Sorry, get this in front of me. Yeah, we might mention those three. Dollar yen still doing okay, still doing pretty well. That's up 50, nearly 55 pips. That's doing okay. Yeah, so there it is. Hi Mark, good to have you. Bit of blue for a pleasant change. Hey, the gold. Let's wait for a better price earlier on today. Didn't really get it on the 1 hour, so I tried the 4. Didn't really get it. But I want to get a better price still. But anyway, it seems to be popping up. But the overall thing is buy the pullbacks. Recession is there. The problems are there. Buy the pullbacks. Do not sell short at this stage of the game. Don't say it's a bit high. I'll try and make a few bucks on the way there. Rather wait to pull back and buy it upwards again. But seems to not come off as much as I'd hoped before we get another buy-in. But anyway, somebody taking it. But the point is, concept is buy the pullbacks, and that seems to be backing up what I've said. But that's okay so far. Okay, I mentioned the Nasdaq earlier on, around about 1260. Those who can afford it, to sell it at about 12.3 stop. Some might not. I didn't write down, so assume you didn't. But it's slightly in. But I wouldn't. I'd just leave for the moment anyway. S&P, we took one again. Those who are not in, those who aren't, obviously hold it. Don't worry about it. Those who weren't in, took it at 40.40, plus minus break even. The guys have got 40.30, slightly in the red, but not much to worry about too much there. So yeah, looks like older trades we've had. It's NZD-CHF 59.50. That goes back to the 26th, is it? What's the date? 30th, 29, 28, 20, Thursday, that is. NZD-CHF. Yes, that was jumping around like a bloody madman. Became right down there, 59.60, and up and down like jumping around. But anyway, not great. But anyway, we'll see if it can come off again. Okay. Any comments on that one? That's about it. I think GBP. Some guys are talking about getting in again. They're taking profit on it. Went up again to maybe sell it down again. Yeah, I think it did get to, what are we on the daily? Make it a 1 hour chart. Yeah, I think it did a couple of hours or so, get back up to the 20 odd mark to sell it again. Those who knew about the score after the session closed this morning might have taken it. And they're now about 10 to 12 pips in profits, something like that. Am I right? 197. Right one, yeah. GBP NZD 91.2. No, they're even better than that. It's gone quite a bit, yeah. So the guys who took a second shot at it will be nice in profit. 40 pips up on the second time going for it. Okay, so that's all I've got at the moment. AUD NZD was another one. That's it, TP. Sorry about that one. Yeah, gold. I wanted to buy. I think going to change my mind, go to 20 if we can get it at 4 o'clock session. Try and buy it. but I'm not sure I want to chase it here. But if it gets, I think you probably get 1920, maybe have a batch. And you leave it for now. I'm waiting for Harper's 4 opening. I'm looking at the possibility of Tesla, and then of course catching up on 3 open trades and seeing anything else to offer in that line there. If you want to ever talk about NGAS, let me know. Just ignore it. Those really can play around. I'm not, I think a lot of you aren't. If they want to have a look at it, can do. But otherwise, not wasting your time people checking it out if you're not worried about it at the moment. Okay, so just to bring off the afternoon, the trades seem to be okay. Well, they are okay, which is pretty good. Good afternoon, Anna Marie. New person, virtually unpronounceable name coming in. G.A. Winnie Kamak. Interesting. But the bottom line is they're in the blue. Okay. Green for the candle, blue for the good trades. Usually when your company's doing well, say it's in the black, we're going to use blue on here because it's in the blue, not the red. So marking company, I don't know what trades you're in, but should in theory be okay. Anyway, if you're following the trades here anyway. Okay, so that's just a quick catch up. Just the GDP, good. Too many good ones. The GDP came out from Germany just around exactly 11 o'clock. Where are we now? Let's have a look. Yeah, GDP was minus 0.2 and expecting 0 growth. So, we all talk about growth. We all say, oh, Germany, Germany. That's expecting squat, got slightly less than squat. Makes the South African GDP not look too bad overall, eh? Yeah, it's just nice to see open your eyes to see what's happening in other places, eh? It's a bit more fun tomorrow. A couple of things coming up tomorrow, and then Wednesday the fun starts. Tuesday a little bit, but I don't know, just make sure the chat lines are the way. There's a couple of these, another big deal tomorrow. Another day of not too bad before the fun begins with the fundies. The fundies, bit of alliteration for you, coming on Wednesday. Right. But you could, I'm supposed to find your pleasure on that, Mark. Too many trades with profit. Is that possible? Have too many trades with profit, eh? But I hope that's the case. If you're following the trades here, they should be. Following your own trades, well, maybe. Okay. Don't know where you entered what, haven't checked you, and I certainly wouldn't do it now for obvious reasons. But the ones we got out here, certainly I can account for. With the entrance we got out here, they seem to be okay for the moment anyway. Good. So there it is. Just start off that side. More if I exclude those two. What are those two? Not NGAS, I hope. Oh, gold and Brent. Did you go in again on gold? Brent should have left alone. I don't know. Super mean. Sorry. What about those two? Those two. Brent, you might come right. I don't know. Gold, I'm seriously worried about that. And I'm not helping you by saying I'm not sure get back to where you wanted to get back to. You've got to sell the gold. But to me, buy the dips on gold. It's not going to help you, of course. Anyway, so be it. Those two, yeah. That's your problem now. I'm sorry to say, I'm shifting that to your broad, responsible shoulders, Mr. Shearer. I'm talking about other ones than those two ones that have been going since the Dead Sea first reported sick and looking pretty sick as well. Not helping, am I? Don't think I'd make it as one of the Samaritans for that insensitive comment, eh? If you're a roughy toughy, you probably enjoy the banter anyway. People don't like to think, oh, shame. I like the banter. I think it was narrative. I think it was just. No, I don't used to do any bloody thing. I think it's put a stop in. If it stops out, so be it. If it comes right, so be it. But, or just take the bloody thing. Don't start just try to rescue it by playing too cool with it. Might make it worse. Rather put a stop in it in case it goes back to 2000 and you go serious. I can't remember where you are on the Brent. Was a sell or a buy, but Brent might come off. It's come off a bit at the moment. The goal, I think, should put a stop in it. If you've got to sell them, they get to 2,000. It's just all the effort you're doing coming to TR3 white for that one fear of taking a loss. Ah, guys, at the food, 97. I'm not sure it's going to, if it does get back there, it won't stay there for long. Yeah. That's called chasing it. It's going to mute these guys. There's no sort of background they're making, but it's not helping. Just flash from my screen, FXS, big weekend for commodities. Well, last that, I mean last year, but no effing kidding. Thanks for telling me. I think I might realize that. Okay, any new guys coming in? I've seen a couple of new names. Don't forget, you can unmute and chit chat. We can't now. It's maybe wrong because the background noise. But you can always request me to unmute you on the chat, post in the chat line, etc. I just want to mention this is a trading room. Some guys have been doing it for a bit longer. I get you can probably gather that, but it's for trading. It's not trading. So if you sort of think I bought the course and can't be bothered to look at it because it's a bit boring, I come to the trading room, look for the best, you might find it a bit confusing. So if you're brand new, you need to know how to operate the platform and do a basic couple of classes in Forex and CFDs. I know we continue getting people in who haven't looked or done any classes and wanting to start going to the trading room. This is a trading room with a bit of, what do you say, bit of explanation, clarification, not a training room. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Okay, and if you're not sure, you want clarity, please let me know, I beg of you. Otherwise you go away grumpy, don't know what's going on, you didn't ask, and then I can't help. I'm not sure that's going to happen. Might be wrong. I wouldn't count on that. I'm not sure you can get to 100 again. I think it's going to dodge around. It might come off a bit, really, but it's going to dodge around. I'm a bit surprised to see 97 again, to be honest. Maybe down the line it was a bit too late. Simply we started to run out of oil. That's a long way away. Yeah, we can look at a couple that's just coming up. I'm looking at the possibility of Tesla, see how it opens. I think we expect a bit of a pullback there. Baba, we can look at. I'll put it down, we can look at. I'm not thinking of selling any, I'm thinking of selling the rally. So look at Baba. Anything else you want to mention? Chinese tomorrow. Yeah, remember, yeah, I'm sure, yeah. Remember they're up and running again after Chinese New Year, so consuming a bit of fuel, but that makes a big difference at this stage. Okay, all right, so discuss gold, let it run for the moment. If you open and along, leave it, do not sell the bloody thing. Nasdaq, I mentioned, it's hovering around 12,000, see how it opens. Give it a few minutes after opening, you might get a bit of down. Still feel it might be a little bit quiet going into the fundamental area again. I think we might hopefully get a bit of a pullback. And then we can start seeing some blue on our couple of, or two or three open positions on the shares, okay? Remember, it's different between shares and Forex, commodities and indices. There are differences. If you're not sure, I will explain quickly, not 3-hour dissertation. I know you probably don't believe me, because I do have a habit of talking rather a lot, but I will respond to requests. Don't request, don't get, don't blame me. As I said, somebody said you didn't like trade room. She never, I think it was she, I heard it was she, never interacted, etc. Clearly didn't have a clue what's going on. Never tried to clarify as to why, and then complained, you know. This medical buddy stuff is all bloody rubbish. Went for the exam and didn't understand any of it. Did you get any classes? No. Well, you know, don't blame the exam. And you try to keep saying that, but it's astounding how many people think they can do it without gaining any knowledge of any sort. I'm afraid that's not going to happen. And sometimes you get lucky, but then that's what it is, lucky. Okay. Any questions? I've just covered the, just a review of what's happened today. Wait for the next 50 minutes or so for the US markets to open. I'll do my normal. There's a couple of new guys in there. Economic calendar, please copy and paste, have it handy. If you don't, you jump in just before a fundamental comes out. You might get lucky, but then you might see your backside, as they say. Dollar index also very important. We post that in the meantime as I'm waiting. Don't forget, if you haven't got the position size calculator, here it is. Go to tech support on the live chat and they'll load it, and then you got your calculator. If you want for the CFDs, go to LMS. That covers everything but, repeat, but the CFDs. CFDs are different. Don't know the difference, go to a class. What you bought it for. No point paying all that money for education. Don't look at it. That's a bit boring education, but unfortunately it's necessary. Believe me, the stuff I just studied, a lot of it was bloody boring. We had to do it. What's fascinating psychology? Years ago, I was in PE, I was quite a bit of sailing there. I remember the yacht club sailing there. One of the guy's girlfriends, she had a master in psychology, and I said to her, "Ron, that must be fascinating." No, practical psychology is fascinating. Studying for it is incredibly boring. I've never forgotten that. Anyone who's got a degree probably understand what I mean. Because the amount of stuff you've got to study, which you're never going to use. At school, do you know? And I happen to know 1066, the Battle of Hastings. Hasn't done me much commercial help, but I'm knowing that fantastic fact which I was taught at school. And one of my favorites, got to say to you guys, is where I'm sitting right at the moment. 500 years ago, absolutely nothing happened. So you put that down in your journal. Yeah, you did, but I did mention it. Hey, I did mention it. It's an exotic. You need a couple of bucks for it. You got to understand it's an exotic. Understand there's extra costs involved, and you got to understand there's a high maintenance margin. Having said that, I stepped upwards the way of the game, and yeah, between 1700 and 1710. And those who took it, I think Brady's here at the moment. I think he took it. No one else took it. Didn't write it down anyway. And yeah, I don't think there's any genius involved in that particular trade. The problems. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. If you talk about burger economics worldwide, I understand the rand is undervalued, even the problems that go on here. I mean, it was the worst performing currency of all the emerging markets. The worst. Can you imagine, eh? The worst performing of all the emerging markets. And there's some pretty interesting countries out there as far as those emerging markets, trust me. Emerging some of them is a bit of a questionable statement to make. Not they're emerging from, because they seem to be going backwards a lot of them. Anyway, this was the worst of the lot, and but it's not really 18 or 19, even with a weaker, stronger dollar at one stage, and all the other problems is because it's pretty low value as it is. To say it might be a bit of a dump where you live, it's got some value to where your property is. Excuse my saying the dump, but you know what I mean. It's the same. There's some value. Where even if it goes at 25 to the dollar, then it becomes ridiculous. Even they've got level 10 load shedding, where you can go in with an English pound and suddenly book into the plaza or something for the night. Then it gets a bit on the ridiculous side, but still, it is from a value perspective. Even then, I think in a way, actually, most of it is fear of the currency and the trust, because value it's ridiculous. You compare what you got to pay for a burger, let's say in New York, to here for the same kind of quality. Big difference. Now, just reading in Wimbledon, to buy a beer at Wimbledon, it's coming up in July, I'm talking about last year, was anywhere between about £6 and £8 a beer. That's not a pint of beer, that's a bottle of beer. £6 to £8, 120 to what's it, 260 around a bottle of beer. So, you know, it starts to get a little bit questionable, you know. I like a beer, but I think I might be pushing it. But anyway, you missed it, you missed it. What you do about that? We'll be chasing that for sure. Those who've got dollar accounts that be South Africa will be happy because when they do exchange eventually back, they get a bit of advantage from it. They get a bit of extra on the exchange rate there. I told the devil, here he comes, Brady, because he got into it as far as I know. I hope he's still here. Brady, you're still in it? Are you with us yet? No, I think he's still joining. Unless we've lost him on the Wi-Fi. Okay, is it now? 22, still a few minutes to go to opening. Yeah, he's there now. How's it, Brady? Just talking about you there. I think you took the dollar round. I think some guys didn't bother. I think you did. So are you still in it? Because you should be smiling. You're still in it there, Brady. No, you just joined, but want to settle down. But happened to have this up by coincidence. So if you did between 17 and 17.10, like you mentioned, well, clear it's way above that. Clearly you went long. I mean, staggered if you went short. So you should be doing okay, hey? Don't feel left out, you guys. You want to say anything or put your hand up? What a pleasure. We all started somewhere. Don't be shy. Oh, well, at least you made some money. Some good money, I trust. Didn't quite know why you got out. I should have modified stop. I think get 70.50 let's go. But anyway, never mind, you're all right. All right, that's that. Now that's fair enough. Gets a whole world of people not sitting in front of the bloody computer all sodding day. Take your point. Anyway, I trust you all guys before we go to the opening. Took the dollar yen. It's doing bloody well now, eh? So we all took it. 129.60. It's fine, eh? 65 in profit at the moment. It's jumping around, but still, it pulls back a bit and then goes up. So it's been pretty good all day. And it came out this morning. Laura is looking good. I think it's 131 to TP. So hang five, you might even get it. So that's looking pretty damn good. We looked at a couple of the others. They're all looking pretty good in the blue. I hope any new guys who took them should be okay. AUD-CHF. It's not much in the red, sorry, in the blue, but at least it is in the blue, a little bit in the blue. Euro-CAD, what's happening there? Brent doing. Come off a bit, no surprise, I'm sorry to say. Euro-CAD. Yeah, it's up, not a lot. At least it's up 25 pips. All right, better than a kick in the shin. Better than doing the washing up, as they say. And Euro NZD. Bit quiet, at least it's up 67.60. It's up 40-50 pips at one stage. But anyway, never mind, it's still up anyway. This thing seems to be holding on the daily. That's 100 times 1 hour. So it seems to be holding all right in that one. And that's over 20 pips, 25 pips up as we speak. It's not too bad. So they seem to be doing okay, hey? My view on NGAS. Close your ears, Mark and Farney. Here we go. So what's going to be some of the spoils of the day? So your joke, NK. Got a bit of an issue with this damn NGAS. We've all got baggage. What the hell's happened there? That's better. Not a lot. Not a lot. If you're in it, you're a couple of cents down, but nearly where we entered. Not a lot, basically. I'm not going to go much into it unless anyone's in it. I think most people are in it. But since you asked, there it is, hovering a little bit. Not much happening. Soon be giving it away, eh? If you buy this TV set, we'll give you a couple of litres of gas free of charge. I just stick it out, yeah. As long as you're not in so big you can't trade, you've got no free margin. But otherwise, just let the thing do whatever it has to do. Patience, without doubt, the name of the game. No problems with Benelli. We haven't covered a few bits, but if you missed, you want to know, just post. We'll go back to it. We've got 2 or 3 minutes before the markets in America open. So anything you want to look at, Most of them should be in the blue. 4 trades or so we got out, not doing too bad. Could just wait to see what happens with the NAS on opening. Hope it comes off a bit, and then we can maybe get some movement on the 3 CFDs. Remember, CFDs really, they're all CFDs really contract for different between the opening closing price and the leverage basis. But we tend to say CFDs, we usually mean derivatives on shares. So we all know what we mean. But pedantically, technically, they're all CFDs. So somebody clever in the pub says, oh, these are, and then you say, you know what I mean? So then just say technically you're right, but we normally refer to CFDs shares, okay? Looked up your thing finally on the KOF. Yeah, you're quite right. That's mainly to do with the American, yeah. Not American, sorry, Switzerland. Switzerland, yeah. Okay, a couple of minutes more to go. A bit quiet. Dollar yen. Yeah. Dollar yen, is it still going up? Come off a bit. Still, it's looking okay. Give it 15 minutes, ready? It's trying, comes off, it's trying to push up. The dollar itself is holding near the 102, so maybe we can get a bit of movement there. Been pretty tempted to look at the GBP euro and the AUD as a sell. Still think it might come off. But I think a bit disciplined might be jumping the gun there. Could be a gap because it's we had some problems, I think, this morning on the data. So I think there's not a gap on the Nasdaq, it's more gap on NT5. NZD share worked out till that's shooting up. Made a bit of a short on that one. That's Swiss franc. I've had, what did you say again the other day, Mark? I'm so, something of that. I'm so not into it or whatever. Community. That sort of Gen Z American kind of talk. But yeah, I know, it comes up, goes up. Yeah, so over it. Yeah, so over it. Trying to come off. I know it's gone on the back of the advisor. I don't know. I think that Swiss franc, when we're all asleep, it's going to suddenly waken up from its wee willy winky 20-year slumber and then start screaming up. But anyway, we're still in it. Well, you're still in it. Whoever's still in it. Anyway, we're there for a while. Threatened to come right as it did what we were daily. Don't know if you're in then or the day there. And then look what's happening. So we'll see. But the others are doing fine. That's the main thing. Let's go over to the NAS, just coming up. See how that works. There we are. As I wait for that, somebody asked me today, can I still go into the US dollar J crowns a bit late? Just remember, if the entry point is in about 10 pips worse off than the actual entry price, maybe depending on what the stop is, it's better clearly go for it. But that's right, just a reminder to go already over there. Just basically remember, if it's about 40 pips and the question is asked, that's far too far away. Don't try and chase it if you look at it 3 hours afterwards. Look at what it might be able to. It depends where the EP in the market is. Just buy at 12,000, it's 12,100. I mean, it's clear too far away. Right, see, that's going to pop around, do a couple of things first minute or two. Then it's settled down for a minute or so, and then we'll start looking at the shares. Well, so I put on 15 minutes and sort of zoomed, is it in or out? Zoomed in a bit to see the move more clearly. No, I don't think so. It might be. You might be right, but I think it's just playing around to move down. Fundies could jump it up to 4.2 or 3.8 very quickly, depending on what happens. Some great news comes out, well, it might go up, but I still think it's can have a bit of a pullback. But we shall see. That's my take anyway. But anyway, either way, a movement over the last couple of hours like that, diddly squat, 16 pips, that's not an indication. That can tell you anything, basically. Look what happened to the Nasdaq. Well, not much so far. Then just open, buy. Remember I mentioned, was it 20 pips? Buyers and sellers opening and closing after. Remember about the spot and the futures? Spot guys waiting for it to open, to either close or open, like 4:30. So that's not really telling you anything. In fact, it's not telling you anything at all. Didn't think of getting information. They open a couple of minutes like that. Open up, just jumped up 20 pips, and now I can tell you. But if it settles down for a moment or two, then we start looking to see anything happening. Might be a bit quiet, but the dollar's trying to rise up. At the moment, it's a little bit of crystal ball gazing. But we'll start off with F-stops coming off a bit. That's good. Still not doing okay. 12.70 entry, it's better than was at an opening. What was it? Microsoft and GS. GS should have gone around about 354, I think, something like that. I can't remember when you got in. Rightly, was that? When was GS coming? Yeah, it should have been quarter minus 354. So GS went up, and now it's coming off. What have I done there? Don't forget to save your charts, like I've done. Okay, just scroll out a bit there. Yeah, so GS seems to open a little bit down. See how that pans out. But anyway, let's pop back up again, see how that pans out. So it's a bit even steep at the moment. And then the other one's Microsoft. Microsoft we got in at 247 with a 256 stop loss. And yeah, that's not a bad opening. Hey. No, that's not too bad. So that's in profit anyway. Only a bit, so don't start getting clever with your stop loss, but at least that's okay. So that's all right. GS is about even Steven. F-stop opened a little bit lower, which we've been stuck in there like NGAS for every bloody day. But at least it's trying to move down again, so that's fine. Tesla, trying to get a short on that one. I think there's a possibility of a short on this one. Yeah, how far away? That's probably too far away. I think $23 might be out. If you do $23 stop, take it down here, you can certainly get it. I think I'd rather have a rather wider stop in a smaller position. $23 stop. It's going to be around about the 200 mark. But I see, I think you're going to get a bit of a pullback on Tesla. It's overcooked. Still a few problems there with a wide stop. Remember, one share, 1.0 is $23 risk, which is, what's that? 54, 23 is 350 in it, and then $3 another 50. Yeah, it's about 400 rand a share is your risk. So if you want to risk 200, you go, well, make it 20 rand a mini, not micro, mini. See, that's one time you can use fractional when it's a wide stop line. Otherwise, don't do it. But in this case, if you want to do Tesla, it's 20 rand for 0.1 per risk. So I quite agree with the mark. We said for a long time. Yeah. Well, I mean, remember, these guys are highly sophisticated, multi-millionaire, billion, 100-cent fund managers, enormous, astronomical billions of dollars under management. They know their stuff. They employ the best computers, the best PhDs, the best this, that, the other. So they have some idea, and clearly they can see that. Like I didn't have to do a PhD for this. They've overborrowed. They printed the last couple of years. The administration been sort of throwing money at woke areas. A lot of it don't even know where it's gone. What's that last $1.5 trillion omnibus thing they were on about? And large that money been spent. Not what people are quite sure where those astronomical amounts of money went. So and that's just printed money. And it's so yeah, it's a genius to understand that. coming off as we speak, eh? Do you want to do this one? I've been chit-chatting away what's happening with Bloomberg, this thing's coming off. Now it's, it's now we're talking about a $27 stock. So anyone want to do this? We can tighten the stop bit if you want, but this is a short. You make your minds up, put the stuff up for if you want. Okay. To take all day, it could cost you, especially when it's moving. Tesla dot sell. What's the EP? We'll make it 174. SL. We have to make it slightly tighter. Sorry, guys, that was too wide. It's too tight. Make it $20. 194 TP. Oh, plenty down there. How far is a TP? Yeah, maybe down there will do. 134.50 will do. Always play around with it. Make it 135. Make it a round figure. Risk is, what's that? $20. That's 350. 35 grand per 0.1. Please God, you can do the maths now. I've done all the maths in my head. Exchange rates the lot. Well, a bit of practice to be fair. So surely you can work out your risk 35 rand, or what's that? A couple of $2 or 35 rand for 0.1. So you've got 20 grand in your account. You put in 0.1. Then buy a maths course. Do you like it? And if you don't like it, blame Mark, not me. That's what he's there for. I don't pay his electricity bill for any other reason he's blaming instead of me. Okay. Very serious business, that. Anyone like it? Okay, that's two people. That's good enough. We'll have it in there. Those are quick, but it got a higher price anyway and jumped in and worked it out and then put the SL and TP in after instead of waiting. Okay, we said 174, 194 to, what was the other one? To 135. There we are. Oh, Baba, no, I didn't miss it. I missed it. Can't even blame poor old Mark and Farney on that. I missed it. Oh, no, how did it, maybe I didn't. How did it open? No, I didn't miss it. Did nothing about that. Open down there. Doing sizer. Not sure what that means. Okay, yeah, no, open down. What should do about that? I've been set so valued for a while. It was ignoring me like BAs, so yeah. But yeah, no surprise there. See if we jump up, quick, get a better price, sell it. Sell Bubba, get a better price. Didn't have that NAS. NAS goes back up to 12.2 and don't, clearly. But you're all with me on that. But that, yeah, that up and down, that's not anybody's fault. That happens. Okay, I don't know why that is. No idea. Sorry, Mark. I haven't the slightest clue. I mean, if you bought it, it should show. Have you got your, well, you know, I can tell you, you know, you got your, I can tell you the bloody obvious here. You got your toolbox open, it should show there. I can't, you know, bring it out in front of everyone now, your situation. I have no idea where that is, to be honest. Should do is all I can say. I can check, but then again, I've got to knock off the share, so, you know, and check your account quickly. You should have bought Tesla anyway, you should have sold it. Maybe what you did, you pressed the buy button and then it wouldn't allow it because the stop loss and the TP are the wrong way around for a buy. It's a sell, remember, not a buy. That's just a figure of speech. Yeah, probably because you put the stop loss and TP in wrong. I've done that myself, so I'm not laughing. I've done that myself. I remember CAD something. I think it was a CAD JPY, and it's supposed to be 100 pips below, and I put something like 5 pips below. Instead of putting, let's say, 110, I put 111 something, and then when it caught me. Well, you know, the sell buttons is in your face. Like, where's Tesla here? Now you do your normal, you put in your volumes. You must know this, you trade before. Put in your volumes, whatever it was, 1 or whatever, stop loss TP, hit the sell button. Where is it now? You might be able to join it again. What's the price? Yeah, it's gone up a bit. So and make sure the order's closed, and you go in again at a better price using the same information. Just quick look at your history and make sure you're not in that trade somewhere along the line. If you're not in that trade, obviously something weird somewhere, and have another bash and make sure it stops 194 TP. What else TP now? 194 SL 135 TP, and put your volume in and hit the small. Okay. Okay, so I hope that's you sorted. Good. Okay. As it's coming off a bit, so it might come right. Okay. Stop. Yeah, start 2. What was the other one? GS. Shouldn't panic too much on that. I think it's going to come. Okay. Dollar yen. Still doing okay. But Baba we've missed, so there be it. Gold come off? I don't think so. We've gone up a bit more. No, not enough to get it. Okay, so we just review all the trades we did this morning. A few new openings up as 4 guys, newer guys, that is. So we've got a little bit of a quiet moment. Any questions? You got the calculator. You all know you can click on any of them. Go left click, right click on it, and left click on specification, contract size, 1 on a share, 100,000 on Forex, 10 on some, 100 on some, 500 on some, 1,000 on some, or whatever. Check your contract size. You check your margin or deposit down there, so you can work out your leverage by dividing that in, and that's your deposit when you go in. Okay. So you know how to do that. You got your DXY et al. This guy's calculator. You know how to save your charts. Like I lost mine for a minute. Save the template, and then once you save it, put a name in. So if you do lose your charts, right click, go to your templates, and there, whatever chart you save, click on it, and up it comes again. Don't forget to do it. If you haven't done it, do it right now. Save your charts. These are basic. It doesn't take long to explain. It saves a lot of time and hassle. Another little tip, if you worked out the volume from the signal and you're happy with it and it's moving, bung your trade in, and then you can modify your stop loss and TP afterwards. Because by the time, I'll show what I mean, by the time you've gone in there and you put your volumes and your stop and you see blah, 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 things are moving. You see what I'm saying? So you want to say, right, got the volume all right, press the sell or buy button, and then go and modify and put your SL and TP in. S&P, anything happening on there? Hope it's coming off again. That's probably up again. Look, bloody hell, Anna Marie, she's going up again after what I've been shouting mouth off about egg. But still, well, it'll move around. That's the noise for you. The NAS is certainly moving around. Trying to come off just now. Look at it. So we'll see. So like the quick order here, you mean? You can do that if you want as well, yeah. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Bit quiet at the moment, so settle down for a few moments to get a bit of direction going. Yeah, nothing at the moment to introduce new trades. I'm not getting much movement on the DXY to chase the AUD, GBP, Euro, dollar at the moment. So I think still leave that for going onwards. Yeah, leave that alone. Not got the direction I like to chase it, or I do think it's going to come off for a big stop. That's very aggressive. How's your friend the FTSE? Going back up again. Okay, well, see how long that lasts. That's the noise. See how it comes right. You're a CHF for a buy. Okay. Well, first of all, clearly in the buy zone, no doubt about that. Only a little bit of a worry is it's right up against the highs up there. And remember, it's on Thursday, interest rate decision and the euro. Don't forget that. Could affect you. I know it's 2 days away. I'm just mentioning that. The bottom line is, I'm not sure I'll be chasing it here. Coca-Cola for a buy, maybe. Not quite sure Coca-Cola. But I personally wouldn't want to chase it here, even if it's in the buy zone. And especially in 2 days' time, we've got interest rate decision, which if it's favorable, you might be quite right. It might push up. But I'm not sure I'll be chasing it here myself. I think I'll probably give that a bit of a miss. Agree? Don't agree, Tembi? What do you think? That's my view. Okay. Coca-Cola. Yeah, I don't know. I take your point entirely, Johns. I take your point entirely. But nothing's happening. Look at this range here. 39 cents. I mean, what the hell's that? Is this a daily? Yeah, it's a daily chart. Look at this range here. You can get right at the top there. It's not even a dollar range. It's a tiny, tiny range. Talking about put it around 50 cents range over the last week. Would you want to trade that? And I'm not too sure that we're pretty high up at the moment. I'm not too sure I'll be buying anyway. If I was going to do something, I think I might get a bit of a pullback here, but I don't think I'll do anything with it. It's just not happening. It makes end gassing quite exciting. And that's saying something. No, I'll just say that's definitely what we call a body swerve job. You know what I'm saying, Anna Marie? 50 cents stuck in 5 days for a 50, 60 cent move and a $60 share. That's a traffic jam par excellence. That's when you start getting frustrated. Well, start getting extremely frustrated. Yeah. As long as you see the reason behind it. That's what I'm trying to get across, guys, new guys. Not because, oh, well, I said don't leave it alone. Okay, if I will do. You don't know why I'm not doing it. And that's why as you get more knowledgeable, you'll say, well, hang on, look at the weekly, look at this. Well, I don't know. I've heard some news come back, Coca-Cola is pretty good or bad. Oh, right. And we discuss it more depth, Okay. Now we've got the shares open. Anything else you see? Might want to have a look at. Even Meta, we had some problems with Meta. I think, but put that behind you. Bogey last, I'll just say you're going to bogey it again. It's not really giving us indication. Where's it? Should be up there somewhere. Where's the 200? Oh, no, sorry. You won't have a 200 on here, guys, because it used to be Facebook. And they changed it to Meta, so it hadn't got enough history for a 200-day moving average. So don't look for the 200 on that one. It's just a name change. Like I've changed my name from Roger to Regina. Name change. Would my father say when someone asks your name, say, Frank by nature? No, sorry, Frank by name, Francis by nature. But joking apart, yeah, no, not much happening there. Microsoft, it's still coming to the party a little bit, so that's okay. Microsoft, we got in at 247, okay-ish, not much happening. Wait for the NASDAQ to come alive and do something, hopefully in our direction. And that's popping up, we'll come alive. Yeah, it's just wandering around, ever decreasing circle at the moment, not much direction. So just remember, at the moment, it's just quite frankly a little bit of noise, big high-speed trades getting in and out, shifting around a little bit up and down, and wait for a direction. So let's see. Okay. All clear? Any gobbledygook for that? So I tend to obviously talk the level of the questions that come in, like Anne-Marie and Temby and Farney and Mark and the rest of them, Brady and whatever. But if you guys not sure, please don't say there's no good. Just ask and we'll obviously explain. That's why you're here. Okay. All good, Lorenzo? See you there. Just notice your name there come up. All good. You should have some blue out there. Actually, most of you should have some blue there. I'm not talking about those two, Mark. I mean, yeah, should be having some blue there, so that's not too bad. Especially this morning's trade's doing pretty good. And the other one's not bad. It came out last week, Thursday, Friday. Okay. But if you can, good. If you can, yes, put them back in there, yeah. It's just jumping around, it's noise at the moment. Back up and down, that's just noise. What the hell's happened to test? That's popping up again. Well, anyway, you got your wide stops, so keep your fingers crossed. Any other CFDs you want to look at? I think leave the oil ones alone, like Oxy and the other one. I think leave it alone. Exo, whatever it is, Exo something or other. XOM, leave it alone for the moment. Oil's a bit iffy. I just want to get in this one. I just want to sell. That's just me being bitchy. But it's not happening, is it? Yeah, if you see any stocks there you want to have a look at, you can. Well, now they're open. But at the moment, I think just hang on to what you got as far as I can see. LUV, I forgot what it stands for. So, oh, of course, it's an airline company. Well, I can see immediately trading, right? Yeah. What's the depth? So it's $1. I know it's $36, so $1 percentage is not too bad. It's 3%. Multiplied by 20, it's a 60% range on the 20-to-1 gearing. If you sold it down, I presume you're looking for a sell. At least $1.50 stock, and we should need about 225 GP. That's not going to work, is it? That's more like it. 60 cents stock for an aggressive trade, trading the range if you want to do it. You might just squeeze a 1.5 to 1 range trade. It's definitely holding that. If you want to do a range trade, this is an aggressive range trade. For those who understand what, if you have no idea what to want, I mean, think about touching it. It's certainly not your first attempt. But if someone wants to maybe try a range trade, tight stop, tight TP, trade that range, maybe a bit of a pullback. Not such a crazy idea. There would be, because the oil's come off, but for how long? If they're going up, then I'd be, what? Well, they would be coming off. Okay, right, Anna Marie, do you want to do an aggressive one? We used to say, do a hairy chester. Ah, guys with hairy chest one. Anyone want to do a hairy chester? What to a hairy chest? Okay, we'll leave it in. There's a possibility of a quick scalp trade, tight stop, tight TP, and maybe you can do something there. Make a quick buck or lose it to come back. Okay, you're a bit quiet at the moment. Sit tight, I think. Right. In the meantime, I don't think there's anything new to discuss you particularly. I think I've gone through all the stuff that's important. Remember, it's non-farms on Friday. Interest rate decision in the US on Wednesday. UK and well, England basically, and Europe on Thursday. So a few things coming up. I mentioned that. Post the DXY, because I've covered most of the stuff. So yeah, over to you. Anything you not sure of and you'd like to ask? As long as it's not, will the gold price go up or down from here? I don't know. Here's a new name. I quite like it. Plakani. There you are. Plakani. There you are. Are you all good there, sir? Or lady? I'm not sure it's a boy or a girl's name. Any questions? Any you're not sure about? Anything like to just check out there on the live chat or even speak to me. I'll unmute you. I'll just unmute you all if you want to speak. Might be quick if you want to do that. If you're a bit confused, let's see if we can unconfuse you. You got good, Fiona? Okay, that's fine. That's the main thing. Chago, you good? Tarbo, Leslie? Sinova, a few new names there. Yeah. Well, to be honest, that is one of the problems you're trading. You aren't, whether you like it or not, completely, utterly dependent on internet. And if you haven't got a decent internet connection, it could cause problems. Nothing worse. You go into a position and you want to take profit and you can't get out because of the network. Or want to get in, it's looking like a great trade, and you can't get into the network, and then eventually the network sorts you out and it's too late, you missed the trade. That is unfortunately one of the problems of having networks that fluctuate. Load shedding ain't helping. Yeah, well, Fiona, let's be fair, Don't we do for a living, but it took you more than a few days to learn a bit. Oh, thought it might be coming off a bit, so it's popping up, see what happens there. That's a decision anyway. That's noise at the moment, Lorenzo. Popping up and down. Got the 15-minute there, as you can see. A bit of noise. Tell you what, I'd hate a South Korean when he must think he comes here with the network. Apparently, they've got the fastest in the world, quicker than Japan and America that works. But yeah, business today, you totally, utterly rely on it. Take away the internet, you might as well say, I'm unemployed. You have to have it. When it's unreliable, it's like having no fuel, Just actually, it's like Eskom. Internet is fuel. It's nuclear. Biggest hurdle I've shown, you're probably right, you guys, is when you sold this, you think it's nice and easy. And then you come in, you find it's not quite as easy, and you think it'll take a bit of a step back here. It's always it's a bit like watching sport. You think they go in and knock the tennis racket or kick the ball, and why do they miss the goal? Did you ever go yourself? That's not as easy as that. See what I mean? It's noise jumping around. Okay, anything you want to review? Because I've run out of juice, I'm afraid. I haven't got anything more brilliant to tell you. I don't want to go into more depths and more details because I think it's necessary. You know, I'm not sure anyone's got a degree in the subject. Cover the basics. The rest is just really let the market do what it has to do, let it play out. Just don't force a trade, that's the only answer.
Roger, what is the stop loss on GS?
I'll tell you now, I've got it written down at 362. 362. Should be above this guy here. Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Okay. Good left. I'm not sure if you ever had a look at. No, it was looking all right. Just what about the dollar? I think GBP USD is going to come off, but I haven't got enough confirmation. And that's proved to me on the daily. Look at that. Indecision. Do you understand, Shinobu, what I mean by that? Indecision means it comes down and spikes up. That's the buyers coming in. So therefore, let's say we buy, it goes up. Oh, hang on. No, it comes off. The sellers come in. When you see those kind of wicks, you know it's indecision. In other words, it's no follow through. You're not sure we're going north or south. You know what I'm saying? You're not. If you're going to, I would say Durban to Limpopo. Sorry, Joburg, Limpopo, Joburg, Durban. Which way are you going? Well, I don't know. I feel like Durban. I've changed my mind Limpopo. I've changed my mind Durban. Total indecision. It's hovering. I see the downside. So if I had to take it, which I'm not totally against selling it, I'd spend 10B already on the euro dollar. It is a risk trade, but I'm pretty comfortable that's going to hold. Comfortable and don't know. I remember, I don't know. Nobody knows. But I'll decide I have my stop up there. It's only about 70, 80 pips away, and take it down here somewhere. Maybe, I don't know, maybe down there. You certainly get a decent risk reward, or even down there, you might squeeze a risk. Yeah, squeeze a risk reward there. I see a bit of downside, but this hovering at the moment. But the interest rate decision, I think, is going to give a little bit of wings to the dollar myself. And even if it doesn't, I think he's going to be a bit hawkish. Was it Marcus earlier on, the Bloomberg guys are saying as well? The problems out there, I've been saying for many times, are immense. So you can have the paper over the cracks so much before the reality is going to come back and bite, which I still think is hawkish. Turn around, so I see the dollar strength coming in. See the pounds overbought. I think there's going to be a weakness coming in there. So on this one, I see downside, but there's no confirmation. So if a guy wants to take a huge risk, I don't mind doing it. I don't mind you, if you want, driving 160, 120 zone, as long as you're aware you're breaking the law, you know what I mean? And there's no confirmation, but I think there's a good chance you will get there quicker. I don't see many cops around, if you understand my analogy. But yeah, I do see the trade downside, but please, not your first, you're not sure. If you can't afford to lose a couple of bucks at a very high risk trade, don't even think of doing it. But if you want to risk a couple of bucks on it, I think it's a favorable risk. Okay, you with me on that? Good. Okay, Mike. I presume you're in a short. I know which side you didn't mention that, Snow, but I'm talking about the sell here. But yeah, for a high risk, highly aggressive trade, a Rambo trade, stop up here, down to there. Yeah. Okay. So those are lost not enough money away. Why not lose a bit more and have a bash and do it? It might be the hallelujah you're looking for. Not sure that's the right advice to give. But yeah, okay. Anyway, you hear me on that. You don't disagree, say so, but I see that. You went in 10 with the euro dollar, didn't you? Not something happening there particularly. Seems to be hovering around a bit. It's time 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 11. Yeah, you might be slightly down, but I think it's going to be, I think it'll work out, noise, etc. Okay. You are AUD for buy. Daily, crunch a little bit, see a bit more clearly. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a bit of fun for the last few minutes. Mark here has said a buy here, and I've put it up there. You can see clearly on the daily the information there. So let's see if you guys here now are confident enough to unmute, or based on there what you think. Guys have been here a month or two, got enough knowledge and confidence to have their view on it. Is this a buy, a sell, or a leave it alone? And not just leave it alone. That's not good enough. Why? There you are. See if you can come up. Mark's getting a buy on that. See what you're going to say. Okay, that's Mark's view. Come on, guys. Lorenzo, come on. Someone's got a bit of nerve. You need nerve to do this business anyway. So if you've got nerve to do this, you nerve to have a particular view on it. I want you to have opinions. Why do you vote Dem? Why do you vote ANC? Why do you vote whoever? You've got to have a view on it. That's the whole point. Okay, interesting one. All right, I'm trying to remain neutral on this because I've got my ideas. I'm just trying to keep my out of it. You might be biased. What do you think, Pietro? What do you think, Marcus, Lorenzo? Anybody there? Sephora? You can leave this alone, okay? Any reasons why? Anyone like to take the floor? Finally, anybody like to take the floor? Unmute and say, leave alone. This is a reason. Buy it. This is a reason. Or sell this a reason. See what guys have learned stuff from looking at the charts. Let's have the view. Because I've clearly got mine.
Sorry, I will currently leave it alone until the rates decision, although we're fairly sure that she will remain at 0.5%. I don't know if the market already have worked it in.
Yeah, fine, I agree at 0.5, agree with all that. Price didn't agree with that, but I think Surya is out, to be honest. It has before when it's come out as expected. But let's say we don't have that. We've got no rates decision, although it's a good point. But let's let's hypothetically say we don't have that. Are you purely going on the technicals? Would you buy or sell this? What do you think is the likelihood of this particular one? Not enough free margin. Well, that's fair enough. But otherwise, if you had enough free margin, you know what I mean? Just want to see if you guys picked up stuff that can safely say, I can look at a trade idea and I can form my own opinion. And if I'm not sure why it's a buy and I think it should be a sell, you can just WhatsApp me and say, hey, Roger, see, you've got a sell on that one. I was thinking it's a buy. Any particular reason? What a pleasure. And I give my reason. Yeah, which I might be right or wrong, but you know what I mean? It means the guys are thinking and learning, not just saying, oh, well, okay. Do the fib from here, short-term fib. Well, that's for a sell, not for a buy, by the way. So you're not putting that over. Any other comments before I give my view? No? Chicken? Come on. You can do it. Come on, Tommy, show us how. Come on, ladies, you can show the men what's what. Okay, fair enough, ladies. Good for you. Yeah, I'll probably leave it as well. My opinion of this it's between these two major ones here. It's very much neutral. Go either way. What I don't like is halfway between the two, which is another leave it alone job. Having said that, we've got remember I've taken out the fundamental. I'm gonna leave it alone, by the way. But let's pretend there's no fundamentals coming up. I'm angling on the way with Samova on that one. There's no fundamentals coming up, and I've got to enter this. There's no leave it alone. I've got no choice. Otherwise, they'll hang me at dawn or shoot me at dawn or whatever. I would probably say a little bit of downside. There's a bit of support there, and I think it might pull back a bit. And if you took the fib, there's a bit of a fib support that. Yeah, I think at the moment, technically speaking, ignore everything else, I probably lean to a bit of a sell. Having said that, it doesn't matter anyway, because it's all just a bit of fun for a learning curve, throwing out our opinions. It's all academic arbitrary anyway, because I'm afraid I would definitely leave it alone. alone. On the reality situation, the sellers come in, but not enough to entice me to sell it. It could change its mind, easily go there before it comes off. It's right in the center of these two areas here. The AUD is reasonably strong, and so is the euro is reasonably strong. Remember, it's neither a lightweight against a heavy or a heavy against a light. They're both pretty even Steven currencies. And throw into the mix, all right, I'll give you a couple of days. It could almost certainly will be the half, but then they have a Q&A afterwards, and their views will affect the price. There's more reason to stay aside for me than to go in. But if I had to, I'd probably do a little bit of downside, but I'm not going to do either. That's my view. Okay. August. Yeah, if you take from there to there, you want to buy it. Okay. Well, not quite had the 38, just had below and then popped up again. But there was a fib there, and then there, and then there, and then there. It's a bit out of date, this one. You better take something a bit closer to home, and that won't work because it's even Stevens. But using back to that, now I think it's a bit dated there. I think probably rather ignore that. Use the latest if you want to do that. You can't. You'd have to use, what are you going to do? There's not really one you can do the latest. So leave that. But yeah, having said that, the euro could easily strengthen. And your hawkish stance, you'd be absolutely spot on the buy. That is an unknown, so we can't figure that into the equation. I'm just saying, because of the unknowns, I'd leave it. But if assume there's no fundies coming up, I think it might be a bit of a pullback. But because fundies are, I'll leave it alone. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay, thanks for that, Mark. I suppose Tesla's still doing its thing. Hovering, okay. I see that S&P is hovering. NAS is hovering. Pretty quiet, hey? Hovering. GS might come back a bit. No, it's not. Ooh, bloody hell. It's giving me, what's happened to GS now? Maybe some good news came out I don't know about Goldman Sachs. Closer, bloody SL now. Keep your fingers crossed. Oh my goodness. If it breaks this, you can get stopped out. Don't know why that's happening. Oh, so that's why you've got to have a stop loss. That I thought that if it pops up, that'll hold. Strange, anyway, it has. Microsoft, that's still coming right. Microsoft is the go-to for sure to get a decent price. Hey, and about 4 goes of that right every time. That's nice in profit. At least that's something. S-stop is an end gas job, hovering. Been there for a couple of weeks now, I think, on that one. Very, very slow. See if that can come off a bit. But GS looks like a disappointment. Maybe after that bad news that came out, it's starting to recover, saying it's not a bad company after all, and attracting the guys back into it. So I think it looks like you're going to get stopped out. Nearest damn it to 362. I thought that might hold anyway. Look at that funding brought it right down. It's like recovering up. Well, there it is. So we got the Tesla out, see if that comes right. It starts to retract a bit, which is good. Yep. And I know it's slightly above entry, I get that, but it's trying to come right a bit. And the US dollar yen still doing okay. Just a quick reprise of the other ones. AUD, that one, remember, hit TP, so that was a nice one. AUD CHF was doing fine, now it's popped back up again, but anyway, so be it. Still okay with it. EUR CAD, still in profit, not much happening, at least it's in profit. ERNZD, at least in profit, not much happening. And of course, dollar yen is doing pretty well. But all I've got at the moment. S&P is dodging around, but at least it's trying to come back. see what can happen there. Okay. Anything else, guys? Before the load shedding kicks in again, eh?
Roger, is there a correlation 100% between the stocks and the NAS, or do you need to differentiate between technicals and the ordinary stocks for S&P?
Yeah, well, first of all, the NASDAQ is index of not totally 100%, but by far the majority of tech stocks. The Dow is the 30 biggest stocks, whatever they happen to be. The S&P is the top 500 stocks, whether agricultural, financial, durables, I don't know, technicals or whatever. Okay, now, I hope that answers that question. Now, is it a total correlation? There is a correlation, but not total, because the NASDAQ is an independently tradable instrument. And sometimes you might get the NASDAQ, people trading it, and it's a very, very high volume traded index, where some guys might think, oh, yes, we'll start buying that and chuck large volumes at it. Now, that will then, the NASDAQ will clearly be pushed up independently of the tech stocks. It might lag it and be fairly quiet. They might start catching up, but remember on the individual stocks, it's not just the trading of them. A lot of people there with equity were looking at the balance sheet, you know, the net asset values and that sort of aspect, which could slow it down. So you could have a situation where, I don't know, you might have a few tech stocks coming off slightly because the valuation of those stocks is a little bit on the weak side, but the overall bias of the traders on this specific instrument is pushing it up. So it could be slightly independent of it. So of an overall view, if the NASDAQ starts flying off, unless there's some individual profit bonanza that's come off from BABA or Microsoft or Apple or something, majority might be lagging, will start to ease off as well. So if this ends up at 11,500 at 11 o'clock tonight, most of the tech stocks will have come off, but not necessarily in unison, because they're individual stocks, their own, you know, pros and cons in their own right, but make up 100 of them make up that NASDAQ, and on top of the NASDAQ as an independent tradable instrument. Does that all make sense, or is that a bit too gobbledygooky? Does that make sense? Not try and rephrase it a bit better. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it do. So no, I normally try to take it as if the stocks go down, the NAS or the S&P will also go down, but there's not really that correlation.
Well, sort of, yeah. Well, no, hang on. No, hang on. You're not totally wrong on that. You know, it's unlikely to see the NAS go up to 30. We'll make it 12.5. The S&P and the Dow start screaming off. So it is a correlation. And the major reason the correlation is there is because the big boys, the big tech big boys, are in all three of them. Apple is in all three of them. So an Apple is an enormously weighted stock. So is some of the others. Not so much they were maybe a year or two ago, certainly a year or two ago, you know, but still they've got a lot of weight to them. So if they come off, they can drag the NASDAQ down. Let's say Microsoft have bad news. I think some earnings report come out actually. Bad news. Apple, Google, Amazon have some bad news at the same time. They will drag the NASDAQ, they'll drag the Dow, and they'll drag the S&P down with them. So that's what I'm saying is, if you're going for the GR30 and you're pretty strong on the sell on the Dow, or the S&P, or the NASDAQ, I wouldn't be buying the GR30. I wouldn't be buying the FTSE or any of those others, or even the Nikkei. They are slightly independent, but the overall weight of these astronomically powerful, large trillion-dollar companies will affect everything. Does that make sense as well? So I'd be very surprised if you see this now come flying off and watch the S&P and Dow going up. No, because they're interrelated from that point of view. But what I'm saying is this might go up a couple hundred, and yet we find the S&P fairly slow or down 50. It's not exactly in unison. Does that also make sense? I hope so anyway. Should make up the S&P 500. Well, good luck, mates, 500 of them. But does that make sense as well? Not all in unison, but I've never seen it yet. If that NAS goes up to 12.5 by 11 o'clock tonight, and the S&P and the Dow have come off, the GRs come off or something, I'd be a bit surprised. Yeah, I'd be staggered, in fact. So yeah, not in unison, but there's definitely a similarity. But don't forget, though, for the short term, they're independently traded from certain indices, and they can suddenly do some strange things. You think, well, hang on, those are powerful stocks making up the index and they're going up. Why is the NAS coming off? Because maybe some large hedge fund decide to sell the NASDAQ position and reverse it to a buy. The selling will push it down independently of the moving up of the makeup of that particular index until it rectifies itself. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay,
Roger,
and
thanks.
that's another point. Good, long makes sense. That's a good point. Not all equally weighted. The classic part was the JSC. We used to have them. The NASPAs on the top 40 of the biggest company. There's about 350 odd shares in the Johannesburg main board listed, and the top 40 of the 4 biggest. And NASPAs, that one stock, made up something like about 20 odd % of the valuation of the other 40. So there was not an equal valuation. And in the top 5 companies, that was, I can't remember them now, Sasson was one of them, and Anglo American at one stage was one of them, and what the other was, that CFR, Richemont was another one. And there was about 4 or 5 of them. They've swapped and run about that lot. Those 5 made up about 60% of the valuation. So that often you see things out of sync, because you've got a click share, and you see that, let's say that Aussie 40 shoot up. I mean, and the eclipse is not happening much with it, because it's shooting up on the valuation because that's some fantastic news for nationals, and its sheer weighted value pulled it up. Much to say, like big money. Farney's got 50,000 on the NASDAQ, and I've got 250 million, right? Farney closes position, you won't see much movement. Roger closes 250 million position, it'll come off, simply because the selling of it presses it down. No, sorry, Anne-Marie. I do a little weekly analysis, and it was decided by the company this morning to embroider it, embellish it a little bit, make it a bit of a video for people. And I just, out of interest, put it on the group, sure. Why am I not doing it? Well, I'm busy in the trading room, and I'm going to be horribly honest. The bigger reason is some of the other guys younger and better looking than me. Ha! So, in other words, the camera likes them a little more than like me, and it's more to the point. But yeah, so they're youngsters, a bit more technically minded, to fiddle around with it. Plus, I'm looking for trades. My job's to look for trades, so I'm qualified to do it. So it's just more to try and get people to take more of an interest and get more confidence. You can look at it if you like, but the stuff you get on there, you're learning from the horse's mouth, the trader anyway, man-marie. It's more to trying to get guys, get out of the apathy and start saying, if you want to make a go of this, try and increase the competency, because the lack of competency levels is the most frustrating thing we, from the broker's position, are trying to deal with to assist people, because they're trying to trade a complicated, sophisticated derivative market without basically, what's this thing called gear lever? What's this thing called brake? You know what I mean? We're trying to get them to make that a bit of effort to increase the competency by maybe a couple of videos, get them to try and come to the party. So yeah, go through if you like, but you're getting here from the horse's mouth on an interaction basis. So people like yourself, Anne-Marie, are probably a little bit limited value, to be honest. I hope you understand my point now, eh? Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I look like a horse, but a lot of people think horses are good looking, so I'm happy with that. You take my point, eh? The guys are coming in, don't worry about it. You come to the horse's mouth, yeah? It's for trying to get guys off the mat and say, right, you want to be a doctor? Come on, we're doing our best to encourage you. We want you to be a doctor. Look at a couple of videos, get some knowledge, you know what I mean? Hope that answers your question. Make sense, Anne-Marie? And others? If you can make the trouble to interact here, that's you need. But not everyone can make it. Haven't got the internet, haven't got the time, they're busy at work, they can't do it. Try and get them going as well. It's basically trying to get people to understand if you want to achieve something, you've got to put something in, something out. Yeah. There's no this pill you pop and then it's all solved. And it seems to be quite a large number think, I buy this, I have bought it, now it'll flow in job. I bought the book on Tiger Woods, how come I'm not being paid like a top golfer? You know what I mean? Have you opened the book? No. Have you looked at it? No. Been to golf range? No. Ah, all right. Look at the NAS coming off now, eh? That GS stopped us out. Might have just rescued. Did he get out? I think it might squeeze it there. I think it came within about 10 cents, the stop loss. Yo, 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 yo. Talk about close, eh? Hope it didn't stop any of you guys out on the spread. It didn't quite get to 362. I hope to goodness it didn't. It's starting to come right now. Let's have a look. Microsoft should be coming off a bit more. Yes, it is. Come on, baby, you can do it. And what's the other one? F-stop. I know it's not part of the NAS, but there's certain, say, some unison there, which came to the reason why you asked. I hope that question was answered because that's important. I hope you've got it from my rather long-winded explanation, but that's come to the party a bit. And let's have a look at our new one, Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's coming to the party. You beauty. You know, I had faith in it, but I didn't want to shout too loud because commentators curse. We all got our beliefs, and my strong belief is Soddom's law, because I'm a very strong believer in it. Not based much science, but it does happen. And yeah, so that's coming to the party, at least for the moment. Don't get ahead of yourself, Roger. So that's good. So that's looking more beautiful. You know, it's always nice to birdie the 18th hole, and it's starting to come to the party as we come to the closing of the session. Excelente. May it continue. Dollar yen, doing fine. Let's go back to the others. AUD, CHF. Yeah, still doing fine. EURCAD. Other ones, still fine. NZD. Not brilliant. It's come off a bit, but still okay. It's still in profit. So that's so bad. Well, they're on the same page there, Mark. I think you and I both suffer big time from Sod's law. If you don't take end gas, it'll shoot up, job. If you do, it'll shoot down if you're going long. Yeah. I think I'll give this a miss. Bang. Just want to take the other way. You know, that's not skill, that's Sod's law. I've got a lot of money on Mike Tyson against that little weedy 10-year-old. Just about to swipe the 10-year-old out the ring. He has a heart attack and I lose all my money. $318 is fine. 80 is a line in the sand, but rather keep it above 100. So you got some noise to play with. But 380, you can open to another trade. But I think anything below about 150, just keep your trades open and leave it at that. That's a hell of a rule of thumb, depending on the money situation, etc. The level, how many trades. You might have 25 trades and you might be able to modify a couple or even take the profit a couple, go into another one or whatever. But that's a hell of a rule of thumb. But 80 is a line in the sand, your margin call. Try not get anywhere near that. 100, start getting worried. And anything below 150, I would say don't open new trades. That's margin percentage level. 380 is not a problem. No, 80% is when they'll start closing your trades. Remember, they only close the trade to get you above 80. So you've got 7 open, they'll close the largest trade. Suddenly margin jumps to 95, then you're fine. And it starts coming off to 80 and they close another one. You get the idea. And the ones your income right, and away you go again. If you're in one trade comes to 80, well, that's it. That's all. Well, to me, that's all. Yeah. If you've got several out, they'll just close the biggest. And that might be the one you don't want to solve. Yeah, the gold of Brent, yeah. That's the one holding you back. I think you should put a stop loss in the gold, to be honest. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 1960 or something. Last year, we had to do it 2000. Just take the pain. Because I don't think you're going to see 17, 18 or whatever it is again for a while. The name of the game right now is buy gold. Buy the, not now, but I mean buy the pullbacks. Gold is bullish. I'll tell you what, Mark, hope you take this the right way. If you can pay for electricity, which you're not getting, surely you can take the pain on gold. Yo. Well, there's a classic example, guys. It's being open. He knows me well enough to be teasing. He's acknowledged enough to comfortable with that because it's teased in the right way. You shouldn't be 70% down in a position you're still opening of your entire capital. You're way overexposed. And believe me, I've seen far worse than that. I've seen guys 60% down, no stop loss, fingers crossed, in one thing. Well, you know yourself on the NAS with PAM, eh? Some of the guys there were 60, 70, 80% down, still holding on without stop loss in the long on the NAS that it's coming off. Not a good idea. Yeah. That's not how to do it. And so some of those guys supposed to be good at it. Well, I reckon I'm okay, but they wouldn't see me without a stop loss, 60% down in one position, and just holding on. And when it's turned around from bull to a bear market, and all I've got is hope. No, that's not the way to do it. Now, it'll be painful, but all I can say, I know it's not going to help you much. 70% is painful, but 25% is even more painful. Not that anyone's taking any notice of that. But all I suggest is get a stop loss in. I don't want to get the $2,000 and you're still in that damn thing. And all the hard work you're doing with the other trades you're working on will be knocked out because you cannot take the pain on one of them. And I meant to say it's not uncommon. It's such a lot. Clever guys, intelligent guys, successful in their careers. Someone when it comes to this, they cannot take it, so they just add more margin, add more money, add more fuel to a large fire that's burning the place up. Not throwing water on, no, adding fuel to it. Crazy. All in hope. Yeah, I will see what happens there. It's open running, they're doing sessions in the evening on it. It's getting people to manage it who are competent enough, I suppose, to do that, to do it. For sure, yeah. You see, in South Africa, you've got to, you see, in Botswana, you don't have to have the license, not the regulated. Here, you'd have to, what's called a Category 2 license. If we had a Category 2 license, then we could do it here. That's correct, yeah. So there's not much incentive, it doesn't work out because they get the flat, but they get nothing for it. Looks like this Euro NZD is going to let me down. It's coming back down again for some reason. Anyway, let's see. Okay, guys. Well, the dollar strengthening, interesting. Not the Euro NZD, I'm talking American. Yeah, it's just reflecting a little bit on this one. It's not so bad. Dollar strengthening, don't forget, will have a negative effect. That's what the yields are doing. Give me a moment, just check for you. No going over time. Yields are starting to recover, so we might get some more, hopefully, follow through on the downside. S&P is a bit slow, but should come off a bit on the NAS. Okay, see what's going to happen there. Okay, guys, run over time a bit. I'm looking at buying the GBP. Sorry, mind. Closed off early, nothing happening. I'll stay on longer if I don't mind. Roger, I'm looking at GBP, JY. This again looks like a very strong level. Do you think it'll apply to? Yeah, I see a bit of weakness between JPY. I think it's a little bit overbought, but it's not totally overbought yet. So, and the pound, remember, it also got interest rates coming out on Thursday. And it is a bit of a funny currency. I want to see if we are saying funny currency. Yeah, I do see upside at the moment. 15 minutes. Do see upside, but it's in the sell zone at the moment still. It's right next to this level here. Might be a bit iffy, but it's not been confirmed iffy of the weakness coming in the Japanese yen. So where you're going to take, you can't obviously take it there. You're going to take it there. There's not enough information at this stage for me to be confident to say I agree to buy it, take it up there. And you've got no choice. And you can't even do that because you've got to have your stop here. So if you put out, say you really need to stop down here to do it. Maybe you can squeeze it there. Yeah, that's 125 pips. So you're looking about 180 pip TP. So you got to aim at that. And when was it last there? Not so long ago, December. Okay, it's only a month or so ago. No, leave it. Too many ifs and buts. Just not worth the hassle. Not worth the hassle. You know, it's all about error probability, not a strong enough error probability to take the risk. As any business would say, they factor in risk evaluation error probability before they do the venture capital investing in the up and coming company, like Dragon's Den, if you know what I mean. And if I was a Dragon's Den about to invest in you, Brady, with your new idea, you're pitching to me to invest in this one, I would say, I'm sorry, for me, I'm out. If you ever watch Dragon's Den, you know what I mean. I'm sorry, but on this one, I'm out. Let's have a look. Yeah, so you might get a better price. Okay, guys, great stuff. Catch you tomorrow morning. Cheers, hey. At least you've got a blue to end. Fantastic. At least you've got some funny. At least you've got some blue to end the day on so far. Let's keep fingers on the NAS coming on. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Cheers now.